Hey guys, so I always try to be really positive on this thing, and I really don't. I really don't want to say anything negative, and I'm not. I'm going to try not to here, but I've been writing fiction for since 1999, really. So like 25 years, and every morning, pretty much for 25 years, like off and on when I was younger, but pretty much unless something's going on, I get up and I write fiction. So, for the last few months, I have not been doing that for the first time in 25 years. And the reason is because, well, two reasons, but they're kind of related. One is I got a contract for a nonfiction book, which I'm just about to finish with. I've got 2 more weeks before it's due. And the other reason is because I feel kind of like a failure. So, I had 2 books published with a major press, 2 novels, which is pretty good for most people do, I guess, because it is really really hard to do that, and I know exactly how hard it is because it took me 10 years to get those published. But after that, I thought, okay, my foot's in the door. I'll be able to do this now. And then I was unable to get anything else published by a major press or by any press, actually. And so I moved into self-publishing one of my books, Sweet Camellia Island, which is a book that I could not get published by any presses. And so what I'm trying to figure out right now, I mean, it's kind of sad to me to stop writing fiction, but as I've moved into nonfiction and I've moved into teaching philosophy again, I really have to put my efforts into that. And it does make me kind of sad to not be able to write fiction anymore. But I do want to put out some of my fiction on Kindle, like I did with Sweet Camellia Island. And so I'm trying to decide which one to do next. I have a couple books I would like to do, but I can't for various reasons. One is still sitting in someone's inbox, and they showed interest in it, and then like it's just sitting there for months. And if you're a writer and you've ever tried to publish anything traditionally, you'll know what I'm talking about. This happens all the time. So I feel like I can't publish that one. I have 2 that I publish as Kindle novellas, and when you do that, you have to wait 30 days after the last episode. I think it's 30 or 90. I'll have to look it up. After the last episode is published, before you can put it out as a Kindle book. So I can't do those. And I have the choices are I have a romance that's kind of a philosophy. It's about a philosophy professor, 2 philosophy professors, and it takes place in a small town in the South in Louisiana. So that's kind of a fun one. And then I have a book of short stories that some of those have been published in little tiny literary journals. I could put that out. I've tried to send that to presses and it hasn't been published. Also, I'm trying to remember what the other ones are. Let's see. Gosh, that may be all, really. Let me look. Okay, let me look. Okay, so the other one is a book that I wrote with my husband, and I'd have to ask him what he thinks about that. It's about a guy who works at Kmart, and I have the Devil at Kmart, but this one was sort of a different. This was the first idea of that, which is a bit different than the Devil at Kmart. And I like that book. I'd have to ask him what he thought about putting that one out. And then there's another one which I can't release for other reasons that I don't really want to talk about. So yeah, that's it. And like I have a couple other books that are kind of unfinished that I don't really have time to sort of rework and finish. So those are the choices. There's a romance novel, there's the one about the guy who works retail, and there's a book of short stories. So I don't know, if you have a thought, let me know what you think. There is one more. So there's a sequel to Sweet Camellia Island as well, which it just follows the same characters, and it's a road trip kind of book. I like that one a lot, but I just don't know, like with Sweet Camellia Island having like so few sales, if I should bother putting the second one out. But I don't know, you got to do it for yourself, I suppose. So that's the situation that I'm in right now. I don't have time to do any of it right now, but in a couple of weeks I may have time to put out another book, so I'm trying to decide which one to do, and finishing up my nonfiction book. We're finishing up the semester here, so I'm going to have a lot of grading to do. And I also have 2 other articles that I have to write for nonfiction articles for Monies. So that's what I'm doing, and that's where I'm at. Let me know what you think. Other writers have thoughts. How is your writing going?